Before the lights, before the fame, before the long list of hit shows and public recognition. There was a home. Not a celebrity home. Not a spotlight-filled household. Just a Filipino family raising a boy who would one day become one of the most recognizable faces in the industry. And that boy was Dingdong Dantes. But here's the truth people often miss. He didn't grow up as a star. He grew up as a son and a brother first. And that made all the difference. The family that shaped his foundation before fame ever arrived. Dingdong Dantes was raised in a structured, value-driven Filipino household, where success wasn't defined by popularity, but by discipline, respect, and responsibility. His parents were not part of the entertainment world. They lived outside the noise of show business, and that distance mattered. Because it meant one thing. The values he learned were real-world values, not industry illusions. In his home, life was guided by principles like respect for elders, accountability for actions, discipline in school and behavior, and humility in everything you do. It wasn't a household where dreams were discouraged, but where dreams were expected to be earned, not assumed. And that quiet discipline became the invisible architecture of his entire career. His parents, the quiet architects of his character. Dingdong's parents have always remained largely private, staying away from public attention even as their son became a major celebrity. But their influence is loud in the way he carries himself. His father's role in his upbringing emphasized structure and responsibility, the kind that teaches a young boy that life rewards consistency more than excitement. His mother's presence brought emotional grounding and stability, ensuring that ambition never turned into arrogance. Together, they created a balance that is rare in fame-heavy industries. Discipline without pressure that breaks you. Guidance without control that suffocates you. Love without conditions that spoil you. And that balance is why Dingdong didn't just enter showbiz as a talent. He entered it as a grounded individual. Growing up with siblings, where life stayed normal. Before he was a public figure, Dingdong was simply a brother in a shared home. He grew up with siblings in an environment where life was not centered on fame or special treatment, but on everyday reality. And that is important, because siblings do something the world cannot. They keep you human. In that household, there were no celebrity privileges. No special treatment for dreams that hadn't been realized yet. No separation between who might become famous and who was still growing. They saw him as a brother, a competitor in everyday life, a teammate in family responsibilities, and a normal kid navigating school, chores, and expectations. That kind of upbringing builds something powerful: emotional balance. Because when someone treats you as ordinary at home, you don't lose yourself when the world starts treating you as extraordinary. A home that didn't raise a star, it raised a person first. What makes Dingdong Dantes' family background compelling is not drama or scandal or excess. It's stability. There was no chaos pushing him into fame. There was no pressure forcing him into the spotlight. Instead, there was routine, guidance, structure, and a strong sense of identity outside public validation. That's why when entertainment came calling early in his life, he didn't collapse under it or get lost in it. He adapted to it, because he had already been trained for responsibility at home. Why his family's story still matters today. In an industry where fame often reshapes identity, Dingdong's foundation kept him steady. From that family upbringing, he carried forward discipline into his acting career, humility into his public image, stability into his relationships, and responsibility into his role as a public figure. So when people see him today as a successful actor, producer, husband, and father, they are really seeing the outcome of a deeper story. A story that began long before fame. A story written quietly at home by parents who prioritized values over attention. And siblings who kept life real when everything else would later become public. Because before he was a star, he was a son shaped by steady hands, and a brother shaped by everyday life.